Hey everyone, it's Chenille here from Ricoma, and in today's episode I'll be embroidering a highly requested item, which is a very large jacket back design on a leather jacket. Leather jacket embroidery is not only visually striking, it's also very profitable, especially if you're embroidering a large design. In this episode, I'll walk you step by step through the embroidery process and give you some tips along the way about choosing the right stabilizer, the best hoops, and more. So make sure to watch until the very end. And if you haven't already, smash that like button and make sure you're following us on YouTube for more content just like this. Now, I don't know about you, but I cannot wait to show you all the potentials that these jackets can bring. Let's go. So before I begin with the embroidery, let's go over the #1 reason why you would even want to tackle a project like this, and that is the incredible profit potential. I purchased this large men's jacket on Amazon for $40, and like most clothing, you can probably get it cheaper if you're looking for a smaller size or even a woman's jacket. The thread and backing will only cost you a couple of dollars, and you should still have plenty left over for another design, since you won't be using the entire spool or even the entire roll of backing for this. If you're not digitizing the design yourself, you would need to outsource the design to a digitizer. Depending on the size of the design, you would need to pay anywhere from $40 to $80. Our design is a whopping 313,503 stitches with over 15 colors, so the cost to digitize was $70. If you're digitizing yourself, then you would be able to save on that cost. But remember, time is also money, so consider that when you're charging. Now, let's quickly do the math on our costs. $40 jacket plus $2 supplies plus $70 digitizing, $122 to actually make the jacket. So how much can you charge for this type of jacket? Let's consider this. First, the design is a one-off, meaning that it isn't efficient for me to run this design one time, since I would have to reset up my machine for the next project. This design, if I'm running it at 800 stitches per minute, will take me roughly 390 minutes to embroider, which is 6.5 hours. You can save time here if you run your machine faster. Remember that the empty machine can run at speeds of up to 1,200 stitches per minute. So if you're in a time crunch, you can save time there. If you run the design at 1,000 stitches per minute, then it would take you around 5 hours. So in total, if I'm running this design at high speeds, to test and embroider this jacket will take me a full workday. So how much can I charge for this exactly? Well, according to a quick search on Etsy, custom embroidered leather jackets start at around $200 depending on the factors that I listed. Our design is more complex, larger, and our jacket size is larger, so the jacket would fall into the range of $300 to $350. That makes my profit $350 minus $122, which is $228 in one workday. Depending on your goal profit per hour, you can charge even more for this type of work. In fact, we have a video that goes over the profit per hour formula that I've linked in the description below that you can actually use to determine your pricing. Now let's move on to the fun part, the embroidery. Today I'll be embroidering the jacket on our MT7S 15 needle commercial embroidery machine. I will also be utilizing the table that comes with the machine to support the weight of the jacket. For more information on this machine, check out the description below. This machine is perfect for this project because along with the flat table, it also comes with a sash frame that can fit a design of up to 21 by 14 inches. Also, this is a 15 needle machine and our design has a total of 15 colors, which means that I won't have to spend time changing the thread colors. Today, I'll be using the sash frame for this project because of the thickness of the jacket. With the sash frame, I'm really able to spread my fabric and clamp down on the jacket to get it hooped very tight and smooth. You can also use your standard hoops, but with the design being so large, I was able to achieve tighter hooping with the sash frame. For backing, some people prefer to use tearaway and some cutaway. During testing, I used one sheet of 1.5 ounce cutaway because the fabric was already thick enough to support all of the stitches. I also used a 75 by 11 needle, but if the fabric was any thicker, I would have used an 80-12 needle. Now that I have all the materials, let's start hooping. Alrighty, so here we have our tearaway and our cutaway. I'm going to be using my 1.5 ounce cutaway, so we're just gonna put this one to the side. Alrighty, let's get started. Alrighty, so I am grabbing my leather jacket, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and center it. It's very important because if you don't center your garment, your design might be crooked, and that's not a good thing, especially when it's for a customer. So the way that I like to center my design, or my garment per se, is that I try to look at the collar, and I just try and make a line with my hand or a ruler, and I try and see where the middle part is. Alrighty, now that we have our jacket perfectly centered, we're going to go ahead and start placing our brackets. I like to use one of the longest ones to put on the bottom first. I do this so that the jacket doesn't move that much in the hooping process. Here we go. We have it nice and hooped. Now, I'm going to use another one of the longer ones to hoop the top part of the garment. always remember, if there is a second fabric lining on your garment, make sure to pull on it so there are no wrinkles and the embroidery does not get messed up. Alrighty, now that we have that nice and tightly hooped, we're going to continue with our side brackets. Now we have to make sure that we don't get any parts of the jacket under, because it will stitch the jacket together and you will not be able to wear it. Alrighty, so now we're going to go ahead and stretch out the fabric and place on our side bracket. I think we have it nice and tightly hooped on that side. Now we're going to hoop this side. Alrighty. Now I think that's nice and tightly hooped. Now it's not always necessary, so don't stress out if they don't fit, because sometimes they will not fit. As long as your garment is nicely hooped and you don't feel it moving a lot, it's perfectly fine. I think I have this nice and tightly hooped. There we go, yay. Okay, now for the last one. Same thing, repeating the process. I'm just gonna pull on this corner to make sure that there are no big clumps of fabric that will prevent us from hooping effectively. Alrighty, I think this is nicely hooped. Now we make sure there are no wrinkles, no bubbling of the fabric. We have this ready to be installed onto the machine, and I'm going to walk you guys through the panel instructions. Let's go. Alrighty, now that we have our garment installed onto the machine, we are going to go ahead and load our design. We're going to go to the File key, and our design is called Lone Wolf. It's a very large design, so sometimes it might take a little bit to load onto the machine, but don't worry, patience is key. Now we are going to go ahead and set the stitches per minute speed at 850. The reason why I do this is to prevent any shredding, since we are using metallic thread in one of the steps. Please do not do 1,000 stitches per minute when using metallic thread, because when it shreds, it does not look cute at all. Alrighty, so now we're going to choose our hoop. For the sash frame, you choose the other hoop. We press OK. And after it's done adjusting the hoop, you're going to hear 3 beeps. Perfect. Alrighty, the design is now loaded, so I'm going to go ahead and rotate my design. The reason why I do this is because the collar is on this side, so I have to rotate it so it's not upside down. Now you're going to hear 3 beeps. That means your design is ready to start. Now we're going to go to our color selection tool. I have already selected all my colors. And we're going to enter embroidery status, and we are going to go ahead and trace. Alrighty, now that we have the design nice and traced and it's perfectly centered and it fits, we are ready to start embroidering. Wow, I'm obsessed with how this came out. It looks beautiful. Let's take a closer look. have it. I hope that you were able to follow along so that you know what to do if you get an order just like this. Remember, there's a lot to consider when pricing an order like this, like the amount of stitches, the amount of colors, the size, the cost of the garment, and the cost of the digitizing, and the time it takes to test and embroider. If you have an idea for a future episode, please make sure to comment down in the description below. Or if you have any tips or tricks for embroidering leather jackets, then share them with us below as well. And if you're not already following us on YouTube, then make sure you do. That way you don't miss content just like this. You can also find us on Facebook, Instagram, and even TikTok for more entertaining content. So make sure to check out the links in the description below so you know exactly where to find us. See you next time!